Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about Hoyoverse's new game, Honkai Star Rail. Today we're going to be covering everything I like and don't like about the game and what I think can be improved in this game. We're going to start with the pros and then we're going to go to the cons and kind of where I see this game going in its inevitable future as I give you guys my first impressions of Honkai Star Rail. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing of note when I was playing this game is that I seem to be getting a lot of lag spikes, and I don't know exactly why that is. I play on very standard graphics. I have a 4K monitor, so I play with 4K resolution, but I actually have the graphics quality set to low because I've noticed that when I'm entering combat or when I'm just traversing the world, I'm getting a lot of lag spikes. My next big problem with the game would definitely be the movement. You'll notice that your only option for movement is the sprint button. There is no other buttons in this game other than the sprint button. You cannot jump, you cannot glide, you cannot climb, you can only sprint and walk around, which I guess makes sense for the style of game they were trying to go with a turn-based RPG. But personally, coming from Genshin Impact into this game, it's a really big change that I feel like a lot of the Genshin community coming over is definitely going to feel. There are some other actions you can do. For example, you are able to do the hit action to initiate combat, which is cooler for some characters and less cool for others. Just to show you an example here, we'll initiate combat with this enemy, hit him with the baseball bat, and you'll notice there, huge lag spike. Anytime we enter combat, it freezes immediately. Combat, however, is pretty smooth though. That is one thing I do like about the game, is the combat is very, very smooth. I feel like it's very simple to get an understanding of, kind of like Genshin Impact in a way. You don't have to think about it too much. All there is two different abilities. You can choose between the two. If you have your burst up on cooldown, then you can use that as well. And there's also a lot of different things that you can do with these characters. For example, this character here, March 7th, she has the ability to give a shield to a character that gives them more defense, and I feel like skills like these are super cool and innovative in trying to make turn-based combat a lot more interesting, instead of just having simple things like, for example, this character is able to heal, but that's in almost all turn-based RPG type games. So having another character that's able to provide shields to us that like eliminate damage, I feel like is very, very interesting. These other two here that I have are just the free-to-play characters. You get this chick from the mail, and then this is just the Trailblazer, of course, who I still haven't got past the physical phase of him yet, so he's not very good right now. All the combat actions are really smooth, however, unlike the lag spikes that I was experiencing earlier. Whenever we do a cool blast attack, this move is one of my favorites with the baseball bat, and you swing at him, and bang, that move is one of my favorites. This girl uses a gun to hit. This character in particular is one of my favorites that I have so far. She uses a guitar to attack and is actually a musician and does huge AoE damage on every single character. Unfortunately, these battles don't provide a lot of value. You don't gain a lot out of them. It's just like little bits of experience. It's kind of similar to, you know, fighting a hilichurl in a way. You don't really gain anything out of it. You just kind of do it because he's there. Another thing I really like about this game is the hub area. Now, I haven't really advanced past this area, to be completely honest, but this hub area is absolutely beautiful. I've been playing on very low graphics, and even still, it looks very, very pretty. So far, the aesthetic of this game, I'm gonna say it's at least an A tier, because this ship is just so cool. Being out in space, it really has a different aesthetic than Genshin Impact does. The next thing I want to talk about is the units in this game. My favorite character so far out of the ones I've been playing with is probably March 7th, I would say, is my favorite. I feel like this is kind of everybody's favorite. She's kind of like the Paimon of Genshin Impact. She's going to be the one who is talking for you most of the time, but she's a lot more captivating than Paimon is, to be honest. Paimon was annoying from day one. And maybe this girl will get more annoying as the game progresses and she doesn't let you speak for yourself because for some reason the main character refuses to talk ever. But so far I've liked her in the story. I felt like she's played an important role and has so far been an absolute joy to talk to. This guy is basically just Zhao. He's another character that you're going to get early on who I personally think is a little boring. I think this guy could definitely use a lot of work. Just basic black hair. I guess the fit is a little cool. You got these little symbols on the back here. Don't know what language that's from, but he's pretty interesting. Trailblazer actually has one of my favorite designs in the entire game. To be more specific, I really like the male Trailblazer design. I don't know why. I just feel like he looks really cold in this fit. The orange with the black. I mean, orange is one of my favorite colors, to be fair. The gray hair. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. Into the building aspect of the game, which is something I've been trying to wrap my head around for a little while now, and I'm still having kind of a hard time doing it. I understand that it's similar to Genshin Impact, but it feels sort of different too. So the first thing here is the Edelins, which is similar to Constellations. Actually, it just is Constellations. It's just renamed in a funny way for every character. Obviously the 5 stars are going to cost like, $1,600 to get all their constellations. The 4 stars, maybe a little bit easier. These ones do look really powerful though, comparatively to the ones in Genshin Impact. Just because it's a turn-based game, I feel like it's going to be a lot more high scaling the constellations in this game, but I guess we'll see. Next thing is the traces, which I feel like is just the talent system renamed, except the talents can go a lot higher. I think in this game they can go up to like 15 or something, which I'm going to be interested to see. Also, there's like things that you can get off your talents. Like you can get a max HP bonus, attack bonus, another attack bonus for the Trailblazer at least. I assume that probably switches for different characters. For example, March 7th has a completely different path. She has ice damage boosts and effect res boosts. All pretty easy things that are easy to wrap your head around. Next thing was the light cones, which I think are similar to artifacts, but there's only one of them. I haven't got too invested in these yet. I've got a lot of them just from wishing on the standard banner in this version. One thing that I do like about this game is this banner right here, the Departure Warp. It essentially guarantees you a first 5-star as soon as you start the game. It says, here you go, here's a 5-star on a silver platter. Unfortunately, you don't get to choose it. You could get a very niche character, like for example Yang Qing. I don't think is all that great, but you could get a Bronya, who I think is really good, or maybe a Bailu, who I also think is a pretty good option. So far I've done about 30 warps on this banner. I've got pretty unlucky. I got a duplicate of Asta, who is a free character you get, and I got another one of her Idolians. And then I got a copy of Natasha, who is a free character I get later on anyways. So far, my luck hasn't been all that great, to be completely honest. But we'll see what 5-star I get on that banner. Obviously, these gacha systems are always predatory. I don't think I have to state this. The odds are terrible. It's the same as Genshin Impact. It's 90 pity with a 50-50 chance to get the character you want on these limited event banners, which are absolutely atrocious and should not be a thing. The only good banner is this one. The standard banner is just more of the same, except 90 pity, and you get one of these standard 5-stars. I don't think any of the standard 5-stars are like crazy OP other than Bronya. So I think you would probably want to save for most of the limited banner characters. I know this character in particular, Seely, really good character. Kind of want her, but don't know if it will happen or not. But overall, I would definitely say be careful with your spending. You don't want to get addicted to stuff like this. It can be very, very predatory. So, keep your money in your pocket instead of spending it on a game like this. Another con that I have about the game is this bottom bar here that has the escape menu navigation cursor and shortcut wheel. You are not able to get rid of this. It's just permanently on the screen. I know the shortcut keys. Please get rid of that bottom bar. I beg. It's such a problem. Other than that, the overlay is actually pretty good. I like that the characters are on the right side instead of the left side. I don't know. That just feels a little better to me. It's basically just the Genshin Impact overlay. The map's up on the top. You got the little icons over there that lead to your wishing screen, your backpack, etc. Nothing really has changed from Genshin Impact. Actually, you'll notice that a lot of the overlay, for example, like the character screen, the menu here, it's all very, very similar to Genshin Impact, which makes sense because it's made by the same company. To put it a bit bluntly, this game is basically just a recolored version of Genshin Impact with a whole new combat style. In terms of the gachas, the overlays, the character designs, it's all very Genshin-esque. Obviously, it's a completely different game with a whole new combat system, so it is different in that sense. But other than that, I would say it takes very, very strongly after Genshin. I mean, you even have things like there's only 4 characters allowed in the party. On the bottom there, you have the attack, the sprint, and the E ability. All things that are similar to Genshin. I'm sure you could find 100 more comparisons if you played through the game. Overall, I've been having a lot of fun so far with the game, though. I'm not very far, to be completely honest. I've only got to like the spaceship part. I haven't even traveled out to any different regions yet or explored it all. I've been trying to keep up with the story of the game. It gets a little confusing for me. A lot of different concepts to try to wrap your head around, but obviously there's a lot of great YouTubers out there that can help you understand the lore of the game. And honestly, with a game like this, you're gonna need it because lore is an essential component of this game. Unlike Genshin Impact, you can't completely ignore it because it's always going to be there. No matter what you do, after each battle or after any amount of time, you're going to always go back to the story. Unlike Genshin, where you can kind of just put it off and ignore it and continue with your daily resin spending. In this game, it's going to be a little different and you're going to have to basically pay attention because there's also no skip button, like Genshin Impact, which is still a huge problem. And should definitely be implemented into the game because the introduction of a skip button would be such a big improvement for so many people. That being said, I still have really enjoyed this game, and I hope you guys are looking forward to playing it too, and maybe you are already playing it, and let me know what your thoughts about this are in the comments below. That being said though, those are my final thoughts on Honkai Star Rail. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing or leaving a like down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.